Usain Bolt sat in the grandstands of the Japan National Stadium in Tokyo watching. Not running, not competing, just watching. And in the final 30 meters of the 100-meter final at the 2025 World Athletics Championships, the greatest sprinter who ever lived stood up, exhaled, and roared. Because what happened on that track in Tokyo was exactly what Bolt told everyone would happen. 3 days before the race, in front of cameras, with his name and face attached to it, he predicted a Jamaican 1-2 finish. He told the world that defending champion Noah Lyles would not win gold. And when Oblique Seville crossed the finish line in a personal best of 9.77 seconds, with Kishane Thompson right behind him in 9.82, and Lyles settling for bronze in 9.89, the story became impossible to ignore. Usain Bolt was right about Noah Lyles, but to understand why this moment hit so hard, you have to go back a little further. You have to go back to the banks of the River Seine in Paris during the opening ceremony of the 2024 Olympics, where a young American sprinter stood on a boat and introduced himself to the entire world. What's up, Team USA? This is Noah Lyles, fastest man in the world. Those 6 words started a fire that has not fully gone out since. Because Usain Bolt, the man who ran 100 meters in 9.58 seconds at the 2009 Berlin World Championships, still holds that world record. 16 years later, the title of fastest man in the world in the technical sense belongs to a Jamaican who retired in 2017. Bolt caught wind of Lyles' declaration, and his response was calm but pointed. Technically, Bolt said, "The world's fastest man is as the one who holds the world record." And that is still him. The internet did what the internet does. Sides were taken, arguments were made. Carl Lewis got involved, saying the defending Olympic champion has always been called the fastest man alive, and that both titles can exist separately without one canceling the other. But the debate was not about logic. It never is. It was about perception, and ego, and the question of who actually owns the throne in sprinting right now. And then Bolt threw another log on the fire. In an interview with The Times, Bolt was asked a direct question. Why have modern sprinters struggled so badly to challenge his world record times, now going 16 years without anyone getting close? His answer was not diplomatic. You want the real answer? We're just more talented. That's all I'm saying. He pointed to the fact that women's sprinting was getting faster with new shoe technology, while men's times at the top had barely moved. His reading was simple. The current generation of male sprinters is not as talented as the generation that included him. Lyles did not stay quiet. He fired back, saying he intended to go after Bolt's 200-meter world record of 19.19 seconds in the next season, a record that has stood since the same night in Berlin, where Bolt ran the 9.58. Lyles had already run 19.31 seconds in the 200 in 2022, the 3rd fastest in history, and he was not finished. The back and forth between these two was building into something the sport had not had in years, a real narrative, a grudge with stakes attached. But the thing about a grudge is that eventually it has to be settled somewhere real. The 2025 World Athletics Championships in Tokyo gave everyone the arena they had been waiting for. And 3 days before the men's 100-meter final, Bolt walked into a Puma event with the cameras rolling and made his pick. He did not pick Lyles. "There's no reason they shouldn't be 1 and 2, Bolt said, talking about his Jamaican countrymen Kishane, Thompson, and Oblique Seville. They have the fastest times in the world this year. It's just about executing and ignoring the noise, and I am very confident they can get it done." Thompson had indeed run 9.75 seconds at the Jamaican Championships in June 2025, the fastest time by any human being in a decade, placing him 6th on the all-time list. Every name above Thompson on that list belongs to a different era of the sport. Bolt alone occupies 3 of those positions, with times that still feel unreachable for any runner alive today. Tyson Gay and Johan Blake, the men who pushed Bolt hardest at his peak, fill in the remaining gaps. Thompson arriving at 9.75 meant he had done something no one outside that group had managed in 10 years. It also meant he walked into Tokyo as the most dangerous man in the field on paper, regardless of titles or previous championship results. Numbers do not know who won last year. Seville had already beaten Lyles twice during Diamond League meets across that season. The numbers backed Bolt's prediction. But numbers have backed challengers before, and Lyles had a habit of winning when it mattered most. The 100-meter final in Tokyo did not go the way Lyles needed it to. The drama started before the gun. Letsile Tebogo, the Botswana sprinter who won Olympic gold in the 200 meters in Paris, was disqualified for a false start. Almost 60,000 people inside the Japan National Stadium went silent. Then the gun fired for real, and the race was on. Thompson and Lyles came out of the blocks hard, side by side in neighboring lanes, both of them looking ready to settle the rivalry that Paris had started. For the first 50 meters, it looked like Thompson's race to lose. But Seville was quietly building speed on the outside, accelerating in a way that only became fully visible in the final stretch. He came over the top of both men in the last 30 meters, storming through the line in 9.77 seconds, a new personal best that announced him as the best sprinter on earth in that moment. Thompson crossed in 9.82 for silver. Lyles took bronze in 9.89. Jamaica won. Jamaica 2. The United States off the podium. Bolt, watching from the grandstands, went wild. Seville, catching his breath at the finish line, had one thing to say about his famous countryman in the crowd. "It's a pleasure to have Usain watching me. We're the next generation." That line carried weight for a reason that most casual fans might not immediately know. Seville is coached by Glenn Mills, the same man who guided Usain Bolt through every world record, every Olympic gold, every defining race of his career. The pipeline from Bolt to Seville is not just symbolic, it is literal. Same coach, same system, same Jamaican DNA in the sport. Mills runs one of the most disciplined coaching programs in athletics. His method focuses on technical precision and race execution under pressure. Bolt credits him with turning natural ability into repeatable world-class performance. Seville running a personal best in a championship final with 60,000 people watching is not a coincidence. That is what years inside that system produces. It is the same blueprint that made Bolt, just wearing a different name. For Lyles, the bronze was painful in a specific way. It was the first time in his entire career, across every age group and every global championship, that he had failed to win gold in a championship 100-meter final. His season had been interrupted by a tendon injury from a freak accident early in the year, and he had only begun real preparations for these championships 2 months before Tokyo. He ran 9.89, a season best, but it was not close to enough. He defended his 200-meter title later in the championships, winning with 19.52 seconds, which added to his collection of world titles, but did not change the headline from the 100. The headline belonged to Seville to Thompson, and in a strange way, to Bolt.